Good afternoon, guys. Hope you enjoyed your mom and also your lunch, and hope you are not going to be sleepy after the lunch. Otherwise, I need to make some jokes instead of technical presentation. Okay, let's start. Actually, my name is Mani, M-A-N-I, simply M-N-A-I. Mani Raissdana. I'm a MikroTik certified trainer since 2011. I'm a founder and CTO of M.IT.S Go, More Worried IT Solutions. We are the consultant and installer mostly in Asia and Africa. And we already own a WISP, which is based on a MikroTik wireless platform. We're really proud about, because we don't have any other wireless device more than a MikroTik. It's only based on MikroTik. So, in this presentation, I want to talk about dynamic DNS updates of the MikroTik, as well as cloud features, which is the new feature of the MikroTik, and also it's a really robust one. First, we're going to start with dynamic DNS tool, which is added recently by new updates of RouterOS. And then we talk about some script to update some famous DNS servers, dynamic DNS servers like Change IP, like DynDNS. And then at the end, I want to talk about DNS-O-Matic, which is very practical. And then the last topic will be the MikroTik cloud service. Actually, dynamic DNS on a MikroTik is not only on a MikroTik, it's a standard protocol, is a way to keep domain name pointing to dynamic IP. As you may know, in most of the countries, especially in Africa and Asia, there is a lack of IPv4. I mean, there is a problem for IPv4. So static IPv4, static public IPv4. So we need to use such tools to update our DNS records with our dynamic public IPs. So you no more need to worry about if your public IP would be changed a lot. Even when you restart your router or gonna have a new connection, you get the new IP. So with this service, you easily can update your domain name. Actually, by the way, right now there is no any option on Winbox. It's only applicable on a command. Simply you can go to Tools and DNS Update. It's a very simple feature, but it's very practical. In MikroTik DNS Update, we send DNS update requests to the name servers, mostly famous ones. Some of these name servers are bring you a free service, provide you a free service. Some of them provide you a prepaid one. So you can choose. DNS update could be secured. I mean, also you can have encryption on it. You can leave it unsecure, and also there is a security option for this DNS update. But the only algorithm which we can support it on MikroTik could be HMAC MD5. Also, there is some other algorithm, but by default, the only algorithm that can support by MikroTik is HMAC MD5. If you want to learn more about this kind of algorithm, you can search about it on Wikipedia. You easily find a very good document. But this is the only option in MikroTik yet up to now. Maybe in next updates, MikroTik will add some other algorithm. But to use dynamic DNS update tool in MikroTik, you need to be careful. It's very important to know it only works with bind server. We will talking about what is the bind server already, but this tool only can work with bind server. And you need to be careful about the clock of your router, the system time, system clock. If your system clock would be differ more than 5 minutes with the dynamic server, I mean, the DNS server ignore your packet and it won't reply your request. So you need to be careful about your time. With the NTP server, you always can make sure your time is up to date, always. So system clock should be differ less than 5 minutes. BIND is the acronym for Berkeley Internet Name Domain. It was something like a university project at the first, from the scratch, but they developed it more before in last few years, and now it's one of the robust DNS server in the world. It's an open source software DNS package, so it's open source. It doesn't mean it's free. I mean, I think most of you know open source doesn't mean it's free. It's open source. I mean, the source is open for you to update and develop it. It's developed by Internet Software Consortium, which is one of the biggest consortium all over the world for internet issues, internet softwares. And Bind server is most widely used DNS server in the world. I mean, maybe because they can offer you a free service, but also working with it is very user-friendly. You only need to create an account on their website. It's very easy to use. So, because of these reasons, it's most widely DNS dynamic server all over the world. This is a little example. If your bind server could be 1111 and your zone could be example.com with the name my domain, and your router address could be 2222 in here. It's a very simple update. And also you can have a key with a key name and the key itself. So it means your core router or your edge router can send the DNS update to the bind server, and then you can receive back the reply. So immediately when you send the update request, you can connect to your router by domain name. It doesn't matter what is your public IP, is it static or dynamic ones. Immediately when you restart your router and your IP is changed, so again, your router send the update request to the server again. So it's really easy to use. Now let's talk about some scripts that we can support it on MikroTik to update some other DNS servers, dynamic DNS servers, some like changeip.com. You easily can create an account on them. This is one of the enhanced DNS solutions. Also, it can provide you free solutions as well as some prepaid one. As you may know, if you pay for such a software, for such a service, you will receive such more features and more supports also. But also, you can have a free account in there. To run the script every hour, every minute, every day, you need to set scheduler to run a script once in a while. So only to run the script is not enough because it's only run at the first time. You need to run a scheduler to run it periodically on your router. In these scripts, also we have some scenarios for the routers that behind the NAT. By default, in this scenario, your router is the edge router, so it's not behind the NAT. So you easily can send the update request directly to changeip.com. The scenario is same as before, but the server is just different. But for and this is the script. Let me say this script is not made by me. It's made by some other guys. You can find it on the MikroTik wiki, but I just a little bit optimize it in here. You only need to change your user password and the host name as a global variables. So if you change your global variables, you easily can use this script. You can run it on your router, and then with the scheduler, you easily can run it once a while, per minute, per hour, or per day. As you can see at the end, I already provide you a command to run scheduler. This scheduler lets your DNS update to run DNS update script to run more often. Also with this, if you add this command at the end of your script, it means your scheduler will be created dynamically, and also there is an option to create it statically by your own. You can set it up statically without this script. So if you want to do such a thing, you need to remove the scheduler from here. Just copy and paste this script on a MikroTik system script, and then you can run the scheduler by your own manually. And this is a scenario for the routers behind the NAT. It means instead of sending update requests by your own router, it's just send it by the routers behind the NAT. It could be one of your private addresses in your local network. So this kind of update needs to travel the NAT and then send the request to the server. So the script is a bit optimized to travel the NAT already. It could be the same as before, but just some few commands has been changed already in here. And then again, you already need to change your username, password, and the hostname on that server. This script only developed, only optimized for the changeip.com. If you want to use any other dynamic DNS servers, you need to use their own scripts. I want to show you their scripts. Also, this is script optimized only for changeip.com. Let's talk about the scripts for DynDNS. Also, DynDNS is one of the famous DDNS providers in the world. One of the advanced DDNS provider, and also it's a prepaid. It cannot provide you a free DNS update. It's a prepaid one. Script is same as ChangeIP with a little difference. So all the scripts by default could be the same, but in some few changes somewhere in the script we needed to run for this server. And again, we need to run the scheduler, to set the scheduler to run a script once in a while. Diagram exactly same as before. IP could be, the examples could be as before, only the server has been changed in here. Again, for DynDNS, and this is the script for DynDNS, only for DynDNS, as well as the scheduler in here. But again, for the DynDNS also, we have the scenario for the routers that located behind the NAT. So you need to be careful. If you have a NAT on your router, on your network, you need to run this script instead of the previous one. And this is a script. All of these scripts already optimized, and you only need to change your global variables to be suitable with your own account name, account password, and the host name. And for example, in here, host name could be the DynDNS.com server address. But DNS-O-Matic is something different with all the other scripts, because DNS-O-Matic provides free service also, not a prepaid one, and it can propagate DNS update to all third parties. No more need to update only your DynDNS, only your ChangeIP. With updating the DNS-O-Matic, it means DNS-O-Matic can update all the other dynamic DNS servers at the same time. So it can bring you much more facilities. DynDNS, ChangeIP, OpenDNS, and 27 more third-party can be supported by DNS-O-Matic. So you only need to update your DNS request, DNS record on the DNS-O-Matic, and DNS-O-Matic gonna update all of your third-party providers. So this can be much better than before, than previous scripts, because it can bring you as a failover for DNS records. If one of these servers couldn't work, you still can work with the other domain that provides you by other servers. I only have an example for 3 servers in here, but DNS-O-Matic also can support 27, around 30 third parties DynDNS providers. And it can announce to all third parties only with a single update. So when you update DNS-O-Matic, it can update all the others only with the first single DNS updates. And this is a scenario for that one. Same as before, also we have some script for the routers that located behind the NAT, because it needs to travel the NAT, so it needs some optimization on a script. And this is a script that's suitable for the scenarios behind the NAT. Easily you can copy paste all of them, and you only, same as before, need to change your variables. And this is a scenario for behind the NAT. Your router is located in here, and your update request generated by this router behind the NAT and need to travel the NAT and reach by the server. Since your DNS-O-Matic receive your update request, it's gonna update all the other servers at the same time. So it can provide you very robust features. With all the other scripts before, you only can update one server at a time. But with DNS-O-Matic, free of charge, you can update all the other third parties. So I think to using a DNS-O-Matic, it's much more better because you have a lots of features to work with, and you no more need to use only with one DNS service. And this is a script for that. I don't provide you the scheduler in here. You can run it by your own, or the same command as we added on a previous script. So it's depend on you. But cloud service on a MikroTik is a bit different with other cloud service that you've heard from other providers, from other services. Up to now, MikroTik cloud service only can support two services, DDNS and approximate time. Still, it's not updated, it's not developed same as any other cloud service, but MikroTik gonna be work on it, gonna be develop it much better than before, and maybe new features added by the new updates again. So we need to keep update with the MikroTik and search about the new cloud features. Add from Router OS version 6.14, DDNS name service for router boards. So it's the only service for router boards up to now. Maybe in the next update we will have for any other platforms like x86. It's very useful when IP changes more often, same as before, but more features also added later on. But cloud service in here, it means it only can work with the MikroTik dynamic DNS server. It's located in their own cloud. So with this service, you only can update MikroTik DNS server, not the other one. This is only suitable for MikroTik itself. It has a menu, it has an option on Winbox. You easily can enable it. If you enable update time, when you send the DNS update request to the server, as a reply, you also can update your time, same as any other NTP servers. But because of that problem, if your clock could be different more than 5 minutes, MikroTik already provides you something like NTP servers. It means more than replying you by DNS update, also it can update your time server. In this service, if you wish to send your local IP addresses, your local subnet, you need to enable this option, but this option doesn't have a menu on Winbox. You need to only enable it on the command line. Easily we can go to IP Cloud Advanced Features, and then you need to set user local address and you need to enable it. Very simple. It means you already send your local IPs, your private addresses to that DNS server. This service is only available with MikroTik DNS servers. You cannot send your private address by default to third parties like Change IP, like even like DNS-O-Matic. So this service is only available with cloud, only with MikroTik DNS servers. As well as the other DNS server, MikroTik provides you with the unique ID as well as the domain name. So you easily can use this domain name if you want to connect to your router remotely through the internet. Also, it's very important to know such access should be accepted by firewall. If you drop some input traffic, basically firewalls drop these kind of updates. So if you want, you need to be careful. Such access should be accepted by the firewall. By default, as you may know, any traffic is accepted by the MikroTik firewall. But if you have some deny rule, drop rule, or reject rule, you need to be careful about it. Such an access should be accepted by the firewall. In case if you have double carriers, if you have two providers, if you have more than one service providers or ISPs, it means you have multiple gateways or more than one gateway. IP used for the update may not be as expected. So maybe you expect to update one of your public addresses with, for example, ISP1, but MikroTik will provide you a domain name for the other public address. So you need to be careful about this option. In this way, it's better to have a mangle, mark your traffic, and then use only your expected gateway. In MicroTik, we call them policy routing. As you may know, on Mangle, with policy routing, you can have a lots of load balancing options. For example, per traffic load balancing, per protocol, per source address, per destination address. So first, you need to mark such a traffic, such an access. Then on the routing table, you need to send it only with your first or second providers. So in case you have a failover for your providing internet service providers, you need to be careful about the IP addresses as well as gateways. So in this scenario, also Mangle could work a lot, same as any other load balancing option. Also with Mangle, you can have a routing mark, and also you can use a dynamic DNS update request on both of the ISPs at the same time. Again, with the Mangle, you need to mark them and send them through their own gateway. So it means at the time you also can provide the servers with two different public IPs at the same time, and also with two different domain names you can connect to your router. There is no any expire time for DDNS records. I mean, since you receive your update, there is no any expire time by the server. So everything is dependent on your own router. If you restart your router, again, you need to send an update. But by default, since your connection is established and it's not dropped anymore, no more need to update again because there is no any expire time for DDNS updates. As a conclusion, let me say these cloud service and some of these DNS scripts are, these are RouterOS new features. MicroTik developers working day by day to improve these services because more often we need to use dynamic DNSs because of the lack of IPv4. And as you may know, IPv6 is not really developed in Asia and Africa yet. So it's better to use such a service instead of paying a lot to have a static public IP. Actually, your feedback's highly looking forwarded, highly appreciated because these services are really new. MicroTik community always asks you to work with these kind of services on your home lab, on your home scenarios, and then send us your feedbacks because your feedbacks already works a lot because we can update these kind of services better than before. So these services are really new. These are my contact details. I know this presentation could be very simple, but I want to use it for all the MicroTik users, not even the advanced users. I want to have it for all MicroTik users. So this is very easy to use and also very simple. These are my contact details. You always looking forward to send me any email. I'm always available on Skype to have a troubleshooting for my students, also for my customers. I really appreciate it if you send me any request, any problem, any question. This document would be available on mom.mikrotik.com as well as this video. If you have any question about the DynDNS, and also as you may know, previously I had 2 presentations about the Capsman. You can find it already on YouTube. If you have any questions and if I can help you, I'm really looking forward in this way. I know all of you could be a bit sleepy, but any other question? Any question? Yes, there is no question. I can find. Oh, there is one in there. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay, I can send you by email. Yep. Yep. Yep, exactly. You only need to run this script if you need to run your update only. So by a scheduler, you can run it more often. Yeah, again, you need to run this script again, yes. Yes, again, you need to send the update because your IP is already changed. As you can see in here, in those scripts, we already used your last public IP. So no more need to worry about your changing the IP address. These scripts already use your last public IP. No. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's okay, but they have a little changes per different providers. Yes, yes, you have to run it as well. So this is the responsibilities of a scheduler also in this way. I already get surprised. I had 2 questions. Any more questions? Cool. Okay, guys, enjoy your mom and good luck.